Hi YouTube, this is a quick unscripted video I'm making on the whole Laughing Witch Thunderf00t shitstorm. If you don't know anything about the shitstorm, I'll put a link in the description with Thunderf00t's video on the matter. But basically this 50-something-year-old woman called Laughing Witch tried to get Thunderf00t fired for, you know, quote-unquote being a Nazi sympathizer, a Holocaust denier, and a harasser. And I mean, whether you like Thunderf00t or not, which, you know, I personally do like him, so full disclosure, but whether you like him or not, that is a pretty shitty thing to do, because he's not a Nazi sympathizer or a Holocaust denier. You might think he's an Islamophobe and a misogynist, but, you know, he's free to express his opinions online, as long as he's not, you know, threatening or defaming anyone. And he never did, and at least until Laughing Witch did to him. So, well, you know, she tried to get him fired, and he retaliated. You know, she doxed herself in a video she made bragging about, you know, trying to get him fired. She was like, oh yeah, you know, you're fired, and I sent this email off to your employee, and she was so moronic that she forgot to censor out her own name in the email, in the video, and of course people have mirrored the video, and now her docs are all over the internet, and the beautiful irony of the matter is that she did it to herself. So and I actually have seen SJWs bitching about the fact that Thunderf00t spread her docs. And, you know, usually I don't like doxing. I don't like it whether it's happening to SJWs or, you know, anyone really. But in this case, she did it to him first. And I've seen a lot of people, including Zargon, saying they don't approve of what Thunderf00t did, which was essentially, you know, this woman tried to ruin my life, this is who she is, why don't you go and tell everyone what she did? And people seem to have a problem with that. And I don't understand why, because, you know, she tried to defame him, and all he did was tell his admittedly large fan base to do the same thing. And I'm one of those people that believe if you do something like that, you should have the same thing done to you. And that might be an immature stance on the matter, but, you know, she was so spiteful. If you could see the video she made, if you haven't yet, I urge you to go and look at it. She was, you know, reveling in the fact that she thought she got him fired, and, you know, ruining his life, and because he posts shit she doesn't like on the interwebs. There are plenty of people I don't like who post things I don't like on the internet, but I would never try to ruin their lives unless they did it to me first. And, you know, people keep going on about how it's not fair to all the people that Laughing Witch and her husband had working for them, because they had a small business that's now gone under, because, you know, people aren't generally like giving business to disgusting pieces of shit like that. But my counter-argument on that is, firstly, Laughing Witch herself said that she would fire anyone who expressed opinions she didn't like online. So, in my opinion, those people are better off not working for her. And, you know, it's funny because she and her husband keep going on about how, oh, these poor people are out on the street now because of Thunderf00t. Well, you know, you would have been happy to put them out on the street if they'd expressed opinions you didn't like online. So, you know, it seems to me like it's not that big of a deal. Secondly, these men aren't, it's not like these people... Secondly, it's not like these people were minimum wage workers. They had degrees in a pretty vibrant business, and, you know, it might take them a bit to get another job, but eventually they will. And I really do think they're better off not working for her. And thirdly, she did the wrong thing. Why should she be allowed to stay in business just because she has people under her? That's like saying, you know, a corrupt CEO who shits on everyone should stay in business just because, you know, he's got all these people working for him. You know, you're using people in order to get away with horrible shit. You're using these people as human shields, and, you know, unless they, you know, they're all wonderful, helpless people who need to feed their families, and God forbid they express something online that Laughing Witch doesn't like, though, because, you know, then they're going to be on the street. But it's wrong when Thunderf00t does it, for some reason. All Thunderf00t did was tell the truth, and I do like Thunderf00t. I'm not what you'd call a Thunderf00t fangirl, but this is, you know, this would be the same thing. If Thunderf00t had tried to get this woman fired first, and she'd retaliated, I would be saying the exact same thing. You don't fucking do that to people. You don't get people fired for saying things you don't like on the interwebs. And if you do, and then that person who happens to have a larger following than you does it back to you. That's what we call karma. And I cannot fathom why anyone would have a problem with that. It's fucking karma. It's karma that Thunderfoot put into place himself. And, you know, I've seen social justice warriors and even anti-sjw saying, you know, oh, he should have just let it go. He should have made a video complaining about it, but, you know, not doxed her. She doxed herself! She doxed herself and she doxed him. So, she doxed him, then she doxed herself because she's a fucking moron who probably doesn't know how to use technology. And then Thunderfoot retaliated. I know I'm repeating myself, but why is this a bad thing? Why is retaliation a bad thing? If someone hits you in the face and you hit them back, are you a bad person? I know this is an immature stance, but she tried to get him fired! Yeah, I'm rambling at this point, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I'm glad Laughing Witch and her husband are out of business, and I'm glad that they were seemingly having a lot of problems before Thunderfoot, because that was another thing. They were, you know, they were filing for bankruptcy before any of this, so, you know, it seems to me they're just trying to come up with some excuse. But, yeah, I mean, if anyone ever tried to dox me or get me fired, you better fucking believe I would do everything in my power to do the same back to them, because, you know, if Laughing Witch realizes that, you know, it's not a nice thing to be doxed and to have your livelihood taken away, she might not do it to someone else, or at least consider the next time she decides to ruin someone's life. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the matter. And, yeah, I'll see you soon.